Well, hello everyone. This is going to be a interesting video, and I would just like to say thank you to everyone. Give everyone a shout out for their contributions and their tremendous comments and all the views that I'm starting to get. I'm really trying to display and post more videos, so be patient, hang in there, and there'll be a lot more videos to come. But this video I am very proud of because it's going to feature the guitar that started it all. This is a custom guitar that I built back in the, I would say, mid-70s, when I was working at a very reputable guitar facility with a very reputable owner. You know, I'm really hesitant to mention names because of legal reasons, or, you know, I mean, the important thing is this video. The important thing is what I'm going to show you. Yes, I'm the creator. Yes, I'm the builder. My name is Karl Sandoval. I'm the owner of Sandoval Engineering Custom Guitars. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on my website. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, of course, and upcoming Patreon. Just need to spend a little more time and get Patreon a little more active than what I have it. But anyway, I'm just proud to display this guitar for you. Let's go ahead and I'll try not to shake the camera as much as possible, and I'll show you this guitar. So moving closer, we'll get a nice view, and I'll kind of explain things as we go along. But you know what it is? It's a copy of a Danelectro guitar. A lot of you probably have recognized the shape, but it has some modifications. The body is made out of solid ash, and it's actually a pretty dense and heavy piece of ash. And the neck is a glued on Danelectro neck. It's an original 1960s Danelectro neck. And so it's a very basic guitar. You're looking at a single humbucker with a vintage style tremolo. The inlay is stock. And I even went as far as putting on, let's see if we get a close-up, keeping the original aluminum nut. And as you can see, it's 6 inline tuners, and it's got this unique style of headstock shape. And this particular scale is about 24 7/8, almost 25-inch scale. And now it's not completely original. It's got the single volume pot, which is a 500K rotating potentiometer. The original pot that I used to have was a slider, of all things. Go figure. I guess I was trying to be uniquely different back then. But it's a high gloss black finish. And let me see if we can get a close-up of the pickguard. Yeah, you can see the pickguard shape there. It's a rosewood fingerboard, original Danelectro frets, and they were dressed down and shaped for playability. Just your typical fret dressing procedure. And So pretty much all chrome hardware except for the mounting ring. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over right now so we can see the back of it. So bear with me as I make some funky moves here. Yep, the patina's there. You can see the some of the nicks and dings. Okay, it's got a side mount LP jack plate with a 1/4-inch jack, somewhat like a Les Paul. There's your tremolo routing, and here's the large strap button. And you can see this was one of my first attempts at contouring the heel where the neck is glued onto the body. See if I can get some good shots of that of different angles. I do it quite differently now, but what I did was I tried to incorporate some shaving around this area, and I just tried to blend it in as much as I could. This is a straight glue joint here. I'm sure now I don't really do much of that except flaring it, and this was cut down a lot right here. I'm looking at the finish, and I can see that it's got the patinaed fractured nitrocellulose lacquer. That's the type of high gloss paint that I would use back in the early days, nitrocellulose. And man, I'll tell you, back then when this guitar was freshly painted and buffed out, it looked gorgeous. I mean, a good high gloss shine. Now you can see also that I've got a little bit larger radius around the edge, reminiscent to that of what's on some of the early Telecasters, but maybe a little bit more. I don't think I did much to shape in the back of the neck except make it like a sort of a white C. There's the tuners. Those are mini shallers. Back then they came with, I guess, 2 mounting screw positioning. You can see that. They're mini shallers. And I don't know if you can see what's happening here, but those tuners are a little mysterious the way they're put on, but that was the way it was done back then. Usually the post will go on the opposite side. I think these are for a left-handed guitar, but it's like what was available at the time. And it was a down electro neck that was glued on, set into a solid ash body. And we could probably get a look at some of the ash there. You can see it's a 2-piece. Look, it's starting to show some signs of age. It's cracking there. The story behind this guitar was that let's turn it over here. Yeah, another weird thing is that it's in a bass case. Back then it was just like the only case that I had. So I made it fit with some cushions. You can see those. But the pickup that I used was a DiMarzio PAF. And well, let me go through the parts real quick here. We have a Les Paul black anodized 1/4-inch jack plate and jack, 500K potentiometer with a chrome dome knob. And like I say, this used to be a slider pot potentiometer with a black vinyl cover mounting plate, and then a black vinyl pickguard, a vintage style tremolo, black mounting ring, cream DiMarzio PAF, or it might even be a Seymour Duncan, and aluminum nut, standard frets that came with the guitar, the plastic small dot inlays with the 6 inline tuners that work reverse because I believe they're left-handed. But this is a story behind this guitar. Back in the day, when I was at that point where I think I can make a guitar, I was playing the old 60s Dan Electro guitars. And these guitars, we were able to get them set up. Well, I was able to get it set up to where it just played phenomenally. If you were to feel the action on this guitar, that's the string height to the top of the fret. It is extremely comfortable. I'm talking extremely comfortable. Let me see if I can get a side angle. Yeah, there we go. I mean, the old term of it plays like butter. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you felt this, and then I used to use 8 gauge and 9 gauge Ernie Ball slinkies, and man, they used to just they felt so good with this guitar. But anyway, one of the main thing that I liked about the Danelectro guitars was the radius of the fingerboard. It was definitely wide enough, but now on my guitars I make necks a little wider than this. The radius was flat, so you can get the action real low, and you could pull up on the string and it wouldn't fret out. And it felt comfortable for chords, especially with the light gauge strings. So that was the main reason why I really liked the idea of building a guitar using a Danelectro neck. And I thought, well, let's take that hollow body and let's turn it into a solid body version, which is what I did. And then I glued the neck in, contoured the back where it meets the heel for playability reasons. And it worked out really good. I mean, I was very impressed. And these guitars, I would set up Danelectro guitars, this one, and there was a Megazone that I had built, and there was an original Flying V that I built for Mr. George Lynch, and he played it. He was playing at some club in Hollywood, and story goes that Randy went backstage and played that guitar, and just fell in love with it. And then therefore, you know, that's the reason why I got the call from Randy. But Randy had a few of his little ideas, and I'll tell you, if anybody knows where that guitar that George Lynch had, it's a V. If anybody just has any idea where that guitar might be, that is the forerunner, the totally collectible guitar made before Randy's V that I built him. Of course, you know, we made the infamous Sandoval .V, which had some of Randy's ideas on it, but I was a creator and designer of the whole thing. I mean, I would get ideas from these guitar players, but you know, simple ideas where I would incorporate them into a completed guitar. Thus, that's what you would end up seeing. So, George Lynch got to play these Danelectro necks, and Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads, etc., etc. And there was a lot of local musicians from the San Gabriel Valley that played these guitars. The Danelectro necks were just a phenomenal neck to set up and have such a great feel. Of course, the original Danelectros, I mean, they're collectibles now, the Longhorn bass and all the other models that they had. They were kind of unique and had their unique sounds, which some bands would incorporate if they found some of the Danelectro guitars. I mean, you'll see some of the artists, like I think Jimmy Page used one, and some other famous musicians were using the original Danelectro guitars with the lipstick pole looking chrome. It looked like a chrome bottle. If you've ever seen the old original lipstick tubes, they were metal, and that's what they were used. As a matter of fact, I think those were actual lipstick covers. I could be wrong. Correct me if I am, but you know, it's what I've read about and have talked through the years. But it had those pickups on it, which were hand wound around a insulated piece of a magnet, and then coated in copper tape, and then inserted inside the lipstick tube. And you know, I've seen them with 1, 2, or 3 pickups. But anyway, a lot of musicians were, if you find those guitars, back in the day, I used to get them for like 25 bucks, 15 bucks, you know, and I would take the necks off of them and use the necks to build my custom guitars back in 79 plus, 1979 plus years. There's a lot more Danelectro guitars that are out there that have been made. There's a handful of musicians out there that have some of the originals. And man, if they come forward and display those, what a treat! You know, they're really unique guitars. But the neck is the main reason why those guitars were favored in making another custom And it was kind of like a learning platform to realize that, well, this would be a foundation of how a neck could be made. Now, you got to remember, and you've heard it and you've read about it, there is no adjustable truss rod either at this end or at this end of the neck. There was two metal rods that were glued inside the type of neck back, and the fingerboard was glued on. I have some neck blanks here that display that very well. And but I'll tell you though, you turn them on lengthwise on a table, you hold the neck, and it is virtually impossible to bend. They were very strong necks. And when I built the original Sandoval .V for Randy Rhoads, I used a 10 gauge, and he was able to tour the world in all the different countries, and I really had no complaints about the neck tweaking, warping. You couldn't get the action right. So a set of 9s, it's just like terrific. I've heard some people talk about, they read an article, Randy said it was hard to keep in tune. Well, let me tell you, let me clue you in. Anybody that's ever played a Fender style tremolo, you got tuning problems. Period. I don't care who you are, you will have tuning problems. It's not like these locking systems that keeps the strings in tune and you can wang and do and drop bombs and this and that, whatever you want. No, Fender style bridges. This style of bridge, people, is very difficult to keep in tune, but it took professionals and smart people and people with creative minds and imaginations to come up with their own methods of keeping it in tune. And there are many methods. A lot of the early recordings were done with those guitars, and I would guarantee that every one of those musicians would say at one time or another that guitar would be problematic in going out of tune. I mean, look, millions of dollars, millions of great songs have been written with this style of bridge, people. And can you really tell in recordings? Okay, I'll name a few. Jimi Hendrix, Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton. These are people that have made fantastic and memorable songs that we all listen to with this style of bridge. So, give this bridge a break. Give the builders a break on, well, it stays out of tune. You know what? Musicians need to look at themselves and their abilities and how they play their instruments and learn how to keep it in tune. That's where the expertise comes in. I mean, many luthiers will build guitars, but they're made out of wood and metal and movable parts. And so, come on, no guitar player, and I've never heard this, will ever claim that they've built a guitar that will stay completely in tune all the time, every time, no matter who plays it and who picks it up, no matter what style of song, etc., etc., etc. So anyway, getting back to this guitar, this is a gem. I owned it for a while, then sold it to my cousin. He has since passed. I have the guitar now. I am sort of waiting for his sons to give me a shout to come and pick it up, but I haven't heard anything, so it's in good hands here, me being the original owner. But anyway, I wanted to share this video with you. I wanted to share this guitar with you and just give you a heads up on one of my early mid-70s customs that started Karl Sandoval in building guitars. A lot was learned from this. There's a lot of things that you can learn something when you actually start applying it and making a guitar. It can be a scary thing because you don't know if the neck's going to be right. Is it going to be angled wrong? Is it going to sound good? Like, I didn't make this guitar thinking that it was going to be a great sounding guitar. But I know that any competent player can pick it up, run it through a Marshall with their styles, and it's going to sound good. It's a typical rock guitar with the rear humbucking in the back. But anyway, I just wanted to say enjoy this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, my Patreon channel. Check out my Instagram. Check out my Facebook page. And just soak in all the creativity that just pours out from my imagination. My guitars are not for everybody, but I'm not going to hone in on that. My guitars are pretty much custom handcrafted. They may not be the cheapest guitars, but I ask any one of you to compare any of the custom shop guitar prices from all the reputable companies and just compare them with my price guitars, and you'll see that, you know, they're all pretty much the same. Mine are actually pretty reasonable considering, you know, I don't want to name any companies, but I know if you go to particular custom shops by major companies, you will pay a price. So pull out the checkbook. And for all you that have sent me positive emails and text me positive things, you know, on my Facebook and wherever you can, I am so grateful and I am so thankful. And you are my fans. You are the pros. You are the stars in my eyes. And I just thank you with all my heart. So if you feel free to give a donation, you can go through PayPal, use my email address, karl@karlsandoval.com, all lowercase. I spell my name with the letter K. Please do so, and I would appreciate it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. There will be more to come. So keep practicing, do that seat time, and enjoy life and stay safe. God bless and thank you.